Happy holidays and thank you for tuning in to DenTech Mods. Now today's episode, we're going to be talking about the relaunch of the Jaguar brand. And, there's been a lot of negativity on it, but there has been some positivity to this whole thing. There's quite a few YouTubers, some big names like Doug DeMuro, Matt Watson, Rory, Michael Jonda, Richard Hammond, Uncle Tony's Garage, who have a lot of positive feedback on it. And we want to hear what they got to say. And we're going to listen to them after this. Back to DenTech Mods, and today, usually I'll be working on cars and fixing things on Jaguars and all that in the garage, but today, well, we got something different for you today. As you know, for the last couple of weeks, Jaguar has done their rebranding, right? And all you hear is all the negative comments all over the internet. Like, if I just scroll through this, you could see everybody, they all kinds of what the and all this stuff. They got all this negative stuff on it. And come to find out, there is some positive stuff about the rebranding. And we want to go through some of the guys who've been talking, some of the top YouTubers on here. And we have Doug DeMuro, Matt Watson, Rory, Michael Jonda. We got, what's this one? Richard Hammond. We have Uncle Tony's Garage. And we have Roadman. So them are the top YouTubers who have positive feedback on this rebranding. And Baz, you have a couple questions on this too also.
I do. I was just curious to know how long has it been since Jaguar put out a new model or sold like a new concept?
Well, in the last 10 years, I'd say they've had the Jaguar XF, the F-Type, the XE. They've had the XJ, and all their models are being out for some time now. And they're the thing about them, they're beautiful. You've been in the XJ autobiography. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. The F-Types are beautiful. The XF is beautiful. And them are some beautiful cars, but it's just not selling like your BMWs and Mercedes. So they had to figure out why. That's probably why they're doing the rebranding, why they're not selling. And like, you can get one used.
I have a quick question. You said an autobiography? Isn't that a Land Rover?
No, that's the Jaguar has a a Jaguar autobiography, and Range Rover has a Range Rover autobiography. He's like the
That's why I
top.
got confused.
It's just like the top model they have.
Okay.
And they have the SV or whatever. But Jaguar just has their highest model is like the autobiography Jaguar XJ. You ever seen that thing? It's beautiful. But they haven't really done anything with these cars, you know. My favorite Jaguar is the 2009 XJ portfolio. That's my favorite. And it's a little bit more old school, but I love that particular model. But they haven't been selling much. Now, if they go into this EV market, they gotta come out. They gotta come out strong. They gotta come out on point. They say they're gonna have 1,000 horsepower. They say they're gonna have a 435-mile range on it. They better, put their money where their mouth is. And their batteries better be good. They need to have their cooling in between the batteries good. The modules are good. They gotta have it so that it lasts. Because like Teslas, they give you like an 8-year warranty, and I think it's 150,000 miles. But personally, I think they should go EV. Instead of going full-blown EV, they should go hybrid.
Okay.
A mild hybrid. So they have the engine and you'll have the battery, the hybrid battery in it. So you don't have the anxiety, range anxiety, what everybody has. And so you want to have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So
Isn't there a 12-volt battery too?
yes, like even when you have like an EV, right? So like you have a full-blown EV, they have the regular flat, the battery underneath, and they have a regular 12-volt battery.
Okay.
They got to figure out to make sure that 12-volt battery, which is in the top of the car, doesn't go bad, because when that battery goes bad, it shuts everything down. You can't even open the doors. Everything just shuts down. All the modules shut down. You got the main battery that probably will be fully charged. But if that little 12-volt battery, what's in there, goes bad on you, you could be out there in the cold or whatever. It doesn't, and he just dies on you. Everything just shuts down. So they got to figure out how to keep that charged, and so that it can alert you when the 12-volt battery is starting to go bad. And then you could get it, take it to your service, advisor, and have them put a new one in for you before it dies. You want to be able to know before it dies. Okay. So now what we'll do, you have another question on there, Babs?
2 more questions. One is actually, I think they kind of go hand in hand. One has to do with the feedback on the logo. And then the other was, I was just curious if there was additional talk about the target audience. Do you think it's a new target audience?
It's actually, yes. From what I've been watching, it looks like they are looking for a different target audience. Like the Jaguar enthusiasts like me, and, there are like tons of us we're like into the older model vehicles, like the E-types and XJs and stuff like that. But me personally, I'm just open to anything what's different and new. And so I'm more of in the positive range of people in the world.
Me too.
Where if they come out with something, I'll check it out. Why not? What harm is it gonna do? If the brand is not selling cars, they're gonna have to do something, right?
Evolve.
That's kind of obvious. And so they gotta, I don't want to say what you gotta do, because I'm not I don't know too much about all this stuff. But all I know is that they gotta do something, right? That's the obvious thing. And they gotta come out strong. Yes, they opened up a lot of eyes, a lot of negative on there, but the negative sometimes makes everybody wake up and say, hey, the Jaguar's doing something. We don't know what, but they're doing something. And so all we gotta do is just wait and see. And even if we wait and see and it does not go to the way we like it, they could change it. If the consumers say, hey, doesn't look right, come out with another model which looks better or something like that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into the positive part of this whole rebranding with Doug Giamiro, Matt Watson, Rory, Michael Janda, Richard Hammond, Uncle Tony's Garage, and we have the Roadman. So they all gonna have. So what I want you to do is watch each clip. each clip is going to take you a little while to watch this thing, but you got to make sure you look out. There's a secret in there about the rebranding. And so if you find it, put it down in the comments. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be negative about it. You're going to put all what it, hey, go for it. If you don't feel, just say whatever you want. You know what I mean? I'd have no problem with that. So there's going to be positive feedback. There's going to be negative feedback. So that's okay. You know, that's what makes this an exciting topic. So all you guys out there, trollers, whatever, just come on aboard and do whatever you guys do and whatever. Talk it up. So let's listen to what these guys got to say and let's go into this video. Okay, thank you.
Well, Jaguar has begun the long, inexorable transition into an electrified future. It's bet the entire farm on moving up the luxury ladder to produce battery-powered cars at price points that will likely see it compete against the likes of Bentley. And that means there's no place in its lineup for dinosaurs like the F-Type. As sad as it seems, time waits for no one in the world of cars. Things constantly change, and it's clear Jaguar is now looking to the future, and not a minute too soon. The company has made a huge impact in its first 75 years, but has arguably been too slow in defining what its next 75 years will look like. It's safe to say nothing it creates will be quite like the F-Type, so it's worth enjoying this slice of automotive history while we still can. F-Type, we salute you.
After the controversy of its rebrand, Jaguar has now finally revealed the car. And woohoo! It's a little bit different. And in this video, we're going to find out a little bit more about it.
This is something different. Everybody's freaking out about Jaguar. They released their cars. Now, everybody was freaking last week or the week before about the brand, the logo and the brand and the ads that came out kind of launching this new thing. Now they've released the car renders and people are again freaking out. And we're going to talk about it today in this video because I'm going to explain to you what I think Jaguar is doing and what you don't understand about what they're doing. But hopefully by the end of this video, if I do my job right, you're going to say, okay, I see what they're doing. Right or wrong, agree with it or not, you'll understand what Jaguar is doing after you watch this video. Okay.
Top Gear presenter and all-round nice bloke. Richard, good afternoon to you.
Oh, thank you for that. That's
all right.
Nice.
Wasn't bad, was it?
I'll take that any day of the week.
Listen, you've reviewed more cars than I can't imagine how if you can even remember how many reviews. You've been behind the wheel of many a Jag in your time. What's going on at Jaguar, firstly?
Well, either it's a stroke of absolute genius or the most hilarious mess up I've ever seen. I think it might turn out to be the former. We're all talking about them. We're talking about them now. That commercial that featured not showing the car that prompted Elon Musk to say, do you guys make cars? I love it. It worked, did it not? It got people talking about it. I think the new car that they've previewed in Miami, don't forget it's concept. And the world is, every now and again we see this car and all go, wow, and then we get something a bit like it. But even if it turns out to be a bit like it, it's an electric car. The key issue with JLR and with Jaguar at the moment is, one, they're not actually making cars from the end of this year until they make this new one. They've mothballed the entire factory. Right. They're going to be making only electric cars. And that's the biggest story, isn't it, really, that's hiding behind this? Because the new car, is it any good? I don't know. It's a concept. Haven't seen it for real yet, haven't we? When it comes out, will it be? Well, it's an electric car. The technology isn't there yet, but it will be. And the point is, the industry itself, the broader industry, all of the manufacturers are at an amazingly exciting time. They're not going away, despite what the naysayers say. No, we'll just have anonymous, autonomous boxes that drive us to and from the office. Of course we won't. These things take us out and get us the opportunity to find everything we need in our lives beyond shelter at the back of our caves. If you need anything beyond shelter, you need food, a mate, resources, water, occupation, job, war, love. You've got to go and get it. That's why humankind devised a machine that enabled us to do that more quickly. That's why it's the one machine that's never going to go away. Are they going to be all electric? No. Are they going to be all petrol? No, they can't be. We've seen what that does. There's loads of other solutions. So we're going to have all of these distractions for about, 20 years when we'll mess about trying to find other ways of making it work. The most important thing is technology is already doing it. Engineers are already there. The internal combustion engine, the petrol engine as we know it, never did any damage to anything. It was the fuel. But we can change the fuel. We can make the fuel using renewable energy. Yes, it uses a lot of it, but when we're overproducing renewable energy, we can bank it as hydrogen, combine it with carbon. You've got hydrocarbon, you can run that in any car. So this car is just another part of that bigger, broader story. And I like that it's exciting. I like that it's making noise and controversy because cars aren't dull and dreary. They never will be. They're exciting and thrilling and visceral and real and analog, electric or internal combustion. It doesn't matter. They're not going anywhere. So I kind of congratulate Jag for making so much noise.
Do you know what? I also came to a similar conclusion, Richard. I initially thought, what the hell is this? And I thought, well, hang on a sec. The advertising agencies do kind of weird stuff. That's sort of parcel of it. And they clearly wanted to change their image. I just remembered, by the way, talking to you, I went to an unveiling. I can't even remember what the Jag model was down there in Chelsea a few years ago. Jay Leno was flown in to unveil it. You might have even been there, Richard. I don't know. They obviously paid Leno, a squillion quid to, pull the...
to get his chin in.
To get his chin in there, yes. And that was like still classic Jag territory, but they must have reached a tipping point when they thought, hang on, Inspector Morse and, Jay Leno are, well connected. We're quite happy to have these people connected to our brand, but we need to change it. And that's surely at the base of it.
I've loved all of that. There was a big piece I was reading about, all those middle-aged men, you're forgetting about us. Well, yeah, because if I'm a marketeer, I would. Yeah. I mean, I've got two E-types, an XK150, an XJR. I've got lots of Jags, but I'm 55. Why would a marketing agency be interested in me? Yeah. I don't expect them to be. I love Jaguar as a brand, but you can't weigh down that we call them heritage brands, don't we? The ones that have a history. They can't be burdened with it and expected to carry it forever and give a nod to all the people. If you like old Jags, they're not getting rid of old Jags. Open the garage door, your old Jag is still in there. Don't worry about it. There will be a new Jag, a new type of company. It's not the company it was years ago. Anyway, there's nobody with a brown stock coat on and a pencil behind their ear wandering around going, well, that'll do, that's about right. They're made in a different way for a different audience. So if what Jaguar wanted to do is get us talking, we're talking about it on your radio show right now, aren't we? So it worked.
It does indeed. Listen, Richard, great to have you on with us. Thank you. Let's speak again and see where this story goes. Richard Hammond, former Top Gear presenter and, the foremost of names in the world of car-based endorsement, I would suggest. Here's another one to add to that. You can think Clarkson and Hammond and the other bloke. James May. I sort of half know a little bit, so I should have recalled him. Yes, you could think that, but actually, James Max is the man you really want to talk to about this, who's joined us in the studio, talk presenter, part-time usherette, and also, a man and Jaguar enthusiast.
I do like a Jag, and I have to say, I think Richard Hammond has stolen the thunder slightly, because there are so many haters out there after this advert, go woke, go broke, all that sort of stuff. And this is turning into textbook marketing. Why? Because we started talking about it. There was visceral love, hate, whatever it may be. But also, what Jaguar were doing is sending a very clear message. What you knew before about Jaguar, we're going to take the very best bits of the essence of the stuff that you really liked in the past. The E-Type, the visceral excitement of motoring, of a bygone age where a Jag was a head-turner. And for the last 20-odd years, they've done one great thing and a lot of mediocre things. And they haven't made a lot of money. The one great thing they did was their EV, their electric vehicle, the I-Pace, which won every single award because it was brilliantly made, very well engineered, very well priced for what it was. And it wasn't a boring Tesla. It wasn't a boring old jelly mold of a car. And the thing is that Jag are now saying, we've got too many grey and black and white cars on the streets. We want some colour. So there was Andrew Neil, our sort of fellow from downstairs on the 14th floor in Times Radio, going, they're trying to replicate, Penelope's, Thunderbird's mobile and all that sort of thing. Lady Penelope and blah, 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 and it's pink and blah, blah. He misses the point. The point is that they are creating a talking point. They are creating an amazing icon. And you look at the pictures of the concept, I think people will look back and go, Now we understand what they were doing.
You're right, and as Richard Hammond just told us, the eventual car won't look anything like that.
No.
But it's obviously the idea is to get everybody talking about it. What he did say is true. You, me, and him are all pretty much in the similar age.
We are, and they're not really aiming at us.
They're not aiming at us, are they?
No.
I mean, it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look. It looks like a. I don't know. I'm looking at it now. A futuristic kind of pink.
But if you
car.
have a look at the top end cars that there are, and perhaps one of the best examples, which I think you could afford it, but I probably couldn't at this stage of my career, is the new Rolls-Royce Spectre, which is
I've ordered it.
Yeah. £300,000 of amazing sort of energy and drive. What they're trying to do, what Jag are trying to do, is say we can't make money out of mass market.
Yeah.
We can't make money out of being a manufacturer that makes a car that looks like everybody else and is everybody else, because that's what they've been doing for the last 20 years. We want to do something different. And the people who are doing things differently are either somebody like Lamborghini, oh, wow, look at those, except you could never have one, it's so impractical. Yeah. Or a Rolls-Royce, wow, look at those, look at the football, oh, you can't afford it. This is going to be more affordable, but less affordable than they were before, because they're going smaller market, smaller volume, bigger profit. And also, if you buy a Jag, you'll stand out. No longer will you just buy a car and say, is it a Jag, is it a Kia, is it a something else, is it a Hyundai, etc., etc. No. If you have a Jag, you'll stand out, and people will either go, love it, hate it.
I was just looking at their website as we were speaking, and there are some already very tasty Jags out there. I'm looking at the F-Type, the coupe, the F-Type convertible. These are stunning cars. The thing you just said, I think, is relevant to this. They don't necessarily stand out. They are beautiful. Their design is incredible. These are still very expensive vehicles. I'd imagine you'd have to go on a waiting list for about a year before you got one delivered to your driveway. But could that be... could it be a Bentley? Could it be an Aston? It could be any of those. They are clearly looking to redefine themselves to a younger audience and to create like a Tesla moment almost. Like,
nobody has taken the electric vehicle and said, here is the future. Yeah. What everybody with an electric vehicle has done is to say, here is the future, but in a form that you recognize. It looks like a car. Yeah. And Jaguar is saying, hang on a second, no, this is a luxury vehicle. So if you have a look at the materials that they're thinking about using, I mean, you know how people got excited about walnut. I mean, they're getting excited about using, very thin slithers of granite and base metals and various other things. And the sound systems that they're planning on putting in there will be absolutely awesome, combined with screens that flip up, all the things that technology can already do, and all the things that you probably wrote in the 70s and 80s when you're a small child going, this is what a future car should look like. But if you go back in history, what did Jaguar do really well when they brought out the E-Type? They made people go, wow, that's different. There was no car that looked like the E-Type on the roads. Yeah. I am hoping with hope, and the proof will be in the cars that they produce, as Richard says. If the car they produce is epic, the job will have been done. So I hope it is technologically epic and that they get over past mistakes that they've made, but also engineering-wise, find a way to make electric car driving exciting, and they will have cracked that nut.
And put the silver Jaguar back on the bonnet.
I do like a Jag. I mean,
it's not been on for a while, is it? It's the symbol. I don't think they're allowed to do I think the Silver Lady.
I think there are problems with
health and safety
or something.
Of branding, marketing, all those kind of things is everyone has been talking about the Jaguar rebrand.
Oh my God.
And I want to know your thoughts. Actually, was it today or yesterday they came out with a design of a concept car?
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Just yesterday.
But even before then, we can start with the whole rebrand of Jaguar and what you think. Of course, they have been met with a lot of negative comments online. Jaguar's dead, do you even make cars? It's gone woke, blah, blah, blah. So what do you think about that whole shebang with
Honestly,
Jaguar?
And this is hand on my heart, I think it is amazing, and I'll explain why. So I haven't done an in-depth research, but for a fact, I'm sure anyone knows Jaguar have not been making loads of revenue in the last 10 years. Let's be real. For a number of reasons, I don't know, but they've just not been where they used to be.
I think the main reason is there was a point in time when Jaguar was known for the design was one of the most beautiful out of all the cars. So people just loved the way it looked visually.
Yeah.
And then it became their cars were raw, like the Jaguar F-Type R. Those are cars that people love. But it got to a point where they just didn't innovate further. And
it declined.
And, you know, the car market moves so fast, technology moves so fast.
They just...
And it just became a car that's like...
For like old people.
It's like the F-Type R is amazing, but there's so many better cars for that price. So you just kind of almost price yourself out of the market, or because you don't develop the technology at the same rate as other companies, you kind of fall by the wayside.
And let's look at like traditional customer profile for Jaguar. It's slightly older, you know, and I'm not saying that in a sort of negative way, but these consumers have different motivations when it comes to buying and spending.
Yeah.
And as a brand, your objective is to be profitable. And so Jaguar, in my mind, took a step back and looked at the world and said, what is driving the world the most right now? What gets people's tongues wagging? What gets people, you know, excited, upset, mad? Fashion. Fashion has a huge impact on our lives as humans because it relates and sort of portrays our sexuality to some point. So Jaguar said, right, we're going to use this as a new entry point channel. And they came up with the most, what you would call, ridiculous of commercials, which I think is, because it was so ridiculous, it would make people say something, but we have no idea what they've got planned. They're a brand new business. They're here to, they're not shutting down. They're not going anywhere.
Make money, because I think what I have seen online is people like, why would they alienate their customer base? And all that sort of
Their
stuff.
customer bases then support, help them when they're losing revenue. Like, you know, they don't care. They're trying to actually attract new customers. A different
customer base,
You know, and I think it's bold for the CEO and for the board because they said, listen, this is a risk. It's a huge risk, but the future, where we're going is bigger than where we've come from.
Right.
So you know what? We're going to go in with the old, in with the new and out with the old. And they said, what was it, copy nothing or something? And that was so thought-provoking. That will piss people off even more. And honestly, I loved it so much. I would love to work in some capacity with Jaguar in the future because I think if they take the same theme and ideology into their cars, they'll run Cybertruck out the ground.
Definitely, because the thing about electric cars is kind of a complicated conversation to have because you know how they said, okay, by 2030, a lot of the cars, but the problem is the infrastructure
isn't there.
Has not been built as fast as they thought it would be. So they're definitely going to have to change that or something.
Extend it or something.
But if it gets to the point where, okay, now we can only use electric cars, I think so many car brands, their identity is embedded with being, you know, petrol, guzzling cars. I just don't
come in space.
Like Ferrari, Lamborghini. How do they just completely ditch their petrol car? It's part of their, but it's a horse. It's like a, you know, it's Lamborghini.
It's what the ethos is built on. So I think Jaguar have, and if you look at just back on the commercial, the fashion or so-called fashion, because it felt like a fashion commercial, right?
No cars.
When you look at the cast and the models and the clothing, I was picking up a lot of things, gender neutral. It was very flexible, fluid fashion. So we can't even predict what they're going to do next. And I think that was also intentional. There was a guy that had like, just the whole thing was very colorful. So for me, you know, there was some psychology around emotion and how those colors really point towards a new dawn. Purple, yellow, red. It's like, are you selling cars or are you know? But for them, it's like, just wait and see what we do. I love it. I think they're going to win. Good on Jaguar.
I mean, something I find really funny about like branding or marketing when you said gender neutral and stuff is something I've always found really funny. Like, let's talk about fragrances, for example. Now, I just smell a fragrance. If I like the way it smells, I'll buy it. It could be a woman's fragrance, a man's fragrance, unisex. A smell is a smell. And I've been on the other side of the marketing table because I normally work in consulting in marketing.
Right.
And we'll have this fragrance, we won't even know who we're marketing it to, and then the CEO is just like, let's just market that to women and see how it goes. Like, they haven't even, there's no consideration of if it's a feminine or masculine smell. But then consumers hold on to that. It has to be masculine.
And if you deviate, people But I think
when it's not even that serious, the people in the boardroom are literally just like, we don't really know who to market it to, so let's just say women this time.
Yeah.
And it's people overdo, like, because that was some of the conversation with Jaguar, like, this is supposed to be one of the heights of masculinity, and now you've turned it into this, you know, gender neutral thing.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because, and let's actually talk on that. So the challenge menswear has always faced is you're dealing with human beings, and we've got to understand that being different is what makes you alive. So traditional menswear is almost designed to be lesser or more tamed than what you would see in women wearing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like by design, men should be more boring, more tamed. It's not working anymore because you can't entrap people's personality. We're dealing, it's not a man thing, it's men, then different types of men.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing here is just the opportunity to explore our options for those in that category or segment. And what Jaguar did there was so intentional because, of course, they're in the know. They know what's going on. They literally, their whole team had like studied the landscape and said, right, we're going to do it this way. And I woke up, I was on LinkedIn when this thing dropped, and people were going crazy on LinkedIn. People were, I was like, I was like, but can't you see that this is what they wanted? You should be waking up. If Jaguar woke up and they didn't get that reaction, I think they would have been pissed off.
Yeah.
They really, for them, the marketing team celebrated that night. It was a win. And it's funny because off the back of all that noise, when Jaguar cars come out, Jaguar might be the next cool brand for the younger generation.
Yeah.
Because they're going to spread, they will diversify into electronics, potentially hospitality, potentially, like it's a business to make profit. Why are you selling cars where you can freaking open a cake shop?
Yeah.
And sell cakes with a nice Jaguar. Like
Jaguar-shaped
the brand is not associated with just like cars anymore. Now it could be anything. You could just put the logo on there, and if it's done properly with the quality and level of service expected, it will win.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do, though, just to see if it works and if all those people are put to shame.
Or if it falls flat.
Or if it falls flat. And if people are like, I told you, Jaguar was never gonna work going woke and all that sort of stuff.
I think it'll work, honestly. I think there's no option because they won't. It was such a bold move. When you believe in anything that crazy, it will work.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. If you believe, and people will see if you believe in something, they'll say you're crazy, and it attracts because there's other people like you. There's people who secretly really love it. They won't come out now, but the minute Jaguar release cars, they'll sell.
I told you.
Listen, Jaguar, call me. I'm ready. Like guest design, anything in any capacity, I'm up for it.
But yeah, on that note, I think we can end there. We're planning to be more consistent.
Hello and welcome to this Car Pod.
I'm Kenan.
I'm Filippo. And let's just get into it. Started off Jaguar. Jaguar. We're going to start with the news and talk Jaguar.
Right.
Jaguar has rebranded. And can we play the video? Let's just play the video. Filippo hasn't seen it yet.
Right. There's sound evidently.
There's sound. There is sound. Yeah, I watched it. Oh, I hate every single part of this. Let it play. It might change your mind later. It might be different. British. Right. All right, two main issues. First of all, live vivid. Live vivid. There's a lot of adverbs that should have been used that were not. Live vivid, dude. Which bothers me every single day in normal life, and especially bothers me here. And also, copy nothing. Don't you mean every single day? Okay. Can I tell you, Jaguar revealed this yesterday. Yeah. They also deleted all of their previous social media posts and posted this. Like, their whole Instagram they deleted every post, like post by post. Like, they hired some dude to delete overnight. Like, and nobody noticed because Jaguar. And then they post this, like the morning. Yeah. Right. It was on Twitter. It was on all the places. Yeah. I saw the news. I just hadn't bothered to watch the video. And now you've seen it. That was all back in time. It was enormously criticized.
As one can imagine.
Okay. I got a different take. Of course.
You loved it.
I didn't love it, but like, it ain't working. What's been happening the last 100 years?
Certainly
Do
true.
you get what I'm saying? Like, this is the worst of the worst car company. Like being totally honest, they could leave tomorrow and no one would really.
They aren't selling cars this year.
They're literally not selling cars this year.
Right.
They're like
agree
25.
Nah. They can only go up. Like, regardless of what they do, they can only go up.
I think it's stupid and insane, but like, the previous, you remember in the past when they were trying to sell cars using normal marketing with normal cars? That didn't work.
Stakes
they didn't
are
sell
low.
cars.
Stakes are, although they actually had
Stakes are low, yeah.
They actually had some great years when they first released the XF and the XJ and the X.
Nice.
The F-Pace. But then they released no new cars for a decade.
There was, well,
Turns
that
out
was
that
one of the
also
issues.
impacted.
But I think also just the brand has gotten stale. No one really knows what it's supposed to be. Then they tried to pivot to electric with one electric car.
And now they've pivoted to cosmetics. Like, it's really difficult.
It's weird as hell and not good, but like, and everybody's pissed online. This is not Jaguar. This is not what Jaguar is supposed to be. And it's like, I think that's the point, guys. Because I think what Jaguar is supposed to be has kind of continuously failed for my entire lifetime. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
They did that music video with Sting and that guy who killed somebody. And I just
Bond
feel
movies is Jag. That's it.
there was that too. Madonna did one with the green XKR.
Oh, really?
There was.
I was thinking a little bit more recently.
When Ford owned Jag, there was a Bond movie where there was a Ford owned Aston Martin, there was a Vanquish, there was an XKR which Ford owned, and then there was a Thunderbird in that same movie.
I remember the Thunderbird.
It was
vividly.
red, pinkish red.
Also, like in all of them, M drives around in an XJ, all the more recent ones. But what does this mean?
It means that there's something new coming. I'm not going to defend it. I think it's stupid too, but I also think, like, let's just kind of let them do it. Because for the first time in automotive history, people are talking about Jaguar. People have not talked about Jaguar this much since the E-Type was shown at the Paris Motor Show in 1959, and people were beating down Stephen Jaguar's door to hand him deposits. I'm not kidding. Like, am I wrong?
No.
You're not Rue. And the other thing about this is, like, they knew they had to do something inflammatory.
Yeah.
And realistically, the only way to get people to talk about it is to be negative. The Cybertruck was kind of that way. It worked and we talked about that for 9 months.
Right.
Here we are talking about this. So it was successful in that regard.
If they just did some like video with like black lights and like Jaguar and then a picture of the leaping cat, no one would say a thing.
The difference is that nobody's going to talk about this starting tomorrow.
Well, we're talking about it today.
3 days.
Right. Well, they keep rolling this stuff. I think the next update comes December 2nd is when they said there's going to be the next update.
What does that mean?
Like, no one knows. That's the
They're
point.
going to reveal a new car at an art show.
At least a new car would be notable.
some fashion exhibit in Berlin is what this whole thing looked like.
Will it be a new car?
Very, yeah.
Is there actually a new car in
There's
development?
a new concept car. Look, I think my point is just, I think it's stupid, just like everybody else thinks it's stupid, but like, this company is bad, they are not succeeding, and that for the first time people are talking about them, and so like, I'm gonna let it play out.
Well, hey,
I'm just gonna let it play out and see what happens.
They took that break to go teach skiing, between college, and they're experimenting with stuff.
And they're experimenting, yeah.
And look at this guy, he's excited about it.
Here's what I don't get.
This guy's thrilled.
First of all, Jaguar should learn to copy a lot of things if they want to be good. First of all, copy nothing. wrong model fit. But much more important than that, like they spent surely millions on this video and on this reveal.
Well,
they revealed nothing.
Did they spend millions?
Yes.
Let me counterpoint. All they did was two things. They hired these folks who I bet are not busy to walk.
Yeah.
Right? These clothes can't be expensive. She's wearing like a garbage bag kind of situation. This is a rug. And they deleted all their social media posts, which you and I could have done in an hour. If they were going to spend millions, I would have done it. I would have done that for $800,000.
There's no doubt that they spent millions on this campaign. Okay. And I just don't like Scout, which is a brand that is a revival of an old brand that nobody's talked about in a century.
Yeah.
Did a big reveal. They got a ton of earned media by showing cars.
Yes.
Turns out that if you show cars that people might be interested in,
but
you can get
you're missing the
coverage.
point. Jaguar's going to do that too.
Are they?
But they've already captured our attentions. Now everybody's sitting here. Everybody who complained about this is sitting here thinking, what the hell are these guys going to do?
No, because
you're thinking that.
This doesn't have the staying power.
Yeah.
And
he is.
No car will connect to this ad campaign unless it's a Golf Harlequin.
Maybe
That's
it'll
the
be
only one.
Maybe it'll be a Harlequin.
Maybe
they'll do a XJ220 revival.
No, that'd be cool. I don't
It'll
know.
be electric. It'll be, I don't know what, like, it doesn't,
Maybe it was in the video, we didn't see it.
Ooh.
Maybe it was that
Watch
pink
it again.
rock.
Watch it again. Go back.
Maybe that's what it was.
Look, I think that you're all missing the point.
How many views does this unlisted video have? It is unlisted.
What?
4.9 thousand. So they're very
most
successful
people didn't
ad
watch it on
campaign.
YouTube.
Right,
I
it was
watched it
on-
on other platforms.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it on YouTube yet.
But, you know, I mean, it could have, I mean, maybe that's it.
Create exuberantly.
Oh.
Creately exuberant.
No, that's
They
not. That's not.
apologize.
If only it had said either of those things.
Is that a tire? Wait, go back. Here, go back to the. She's wearing a tire. That's a clue. Look, all I'm saying is, people are hating this. I get why they're hating it. It's really stupid, but I think it has gotten our attention in a way that Jaguar has not gotten our attention in a long time. And I think there are marketers out there who are like, yeah, that was the plan. And now you're curious. Admit it. If they had just done a stupid, boring campaign, you'd be like, Jaguar, whatever.
Had they come
now
out
you're
and said,
curious.
we're changing a lot of our tact. Here's our new design language. Here's the direction we're going to go in.
But that's
I
what
would have been more
Filippo
effective.
would do, and Filippo only does like the basics.
Who buys Jaguars if not people like Filippo?
But the point is, they want new people. They want people like Kenan. Right now they got people like you.
Well, they're going to reveal a city-sized luxury EV, probably.
I want to see an electric XJ220.
I want to see an
better
electric
powertrain.
rock, because that's what I think we might be getting here. Or whatever cosmetics
You'll
they can-
understand what Jaguar is doing after you watch this video. Okay, let's dig in to the things here. Here's the cars. Okay, Jaguar releases the car renders today, and we can see people are wigging out about this. There's the pink one and the blue one, and they're all like woke this and woke that and all freaking out. Okay, so this is what's going on in the car design world. It's not even the car design world. Maybe it's going on there, but in the design world that I'm part of, in the design community, people are wigging out. I did a reel last week that addressed what they're doing this for and the reality of the numbers of Jaguar. And I'm going to play that reel for you right now. It's 56 seconds, something like that. So check out this reel. Jaguar launched a new logo. I'm going to tell you why it's awesome. People love to trash new logos from classic brands. And this one is getting trashed with comments like these. Why? It looks so generic. The old logo is so much better. It sets them apart. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give me one valid reason for this. Here's why it's broke and the valid reason. In 2017, Jaguar was booming and sold 39,886 cars. Then things started to drop dramatically. Last year, they sold 8,348 cars, and this year looks about the same. Some people will say that's because their cars suck, but I don't know. I've never owned one, and most of those people probably haven't owned one either. I mean, the Jaguar XF looks pretty cool, and it has the cool old Jaguar logo on the front that everyone claims was a classic and not broken. And in 2022, it sold a whopping 809 cars, which is freaking awesome compared to the I-Pace that only sold 439. When you have numbers like these, everything is subject to change. Your leadership, your logo, your cars. You might even try a Zoolander commercial. It takes guts to let go of old strategies and classic brands. But if your business is tanking, everything is subject to change. I'm going to cheer them on. Way to go, Jaguar. And by the way, congrats on all the free publicity the last couple days. I hope it boosts sales. Okay, now you can see in there, the problem is the numbers. People are not buying the cars. Now, a lot of the comments that came into that reel when I tried to explain the point were people saying, oh, if they just go back to the classic and it's ugly, it doesn't matter, change is good, but if it's ugly, it's not good, and that kind of thing. And there was a lot of subjective opinion-based feedback in there and unresearched. What I like to do in business in general is I like to look at the numbers. I like to look at the data. I like to look at the reality and take an objective view, try and take away my own opinion and look at it from an objective perspective, not a subjective opinion. I don't like it, therefore it's bad. That's not the way to look at anything, especially in business. I don't like it, therefore it's bad. If you're not the target customer, then your opinion does not matter. If you're not the target customer, the opinion of the target customer is what matters. So hate their logo, hate their brand, whatever it is, you probably are not their target customer. I think you're going to understand their target customer more after we go through this video. All right, so in response to that reel, I got all kinds of feedback. So I'm going to show you a couple of those. I just put them on here, these two. Somebody said to me, "You've completely missed the point." Now, I disagree with this. The point I was trying to make, I think I made very clear. I was making the point in response to the question, why did they do this? Give me one good reason. And the point I was making is their numbers are slumping. That's the good reason. And so they're going back to the drawing board in their business. That's the reason. Now, the second part of this says people want the old Jaguar back. Before 2017, people want the classic English brand back. Okay, keep that in your brain as I show you a couple pictures coming up. Now, the old Jaguar brand, how old are we talking here? Because I'm going to show you some photos that show that Jaguar is going back to the old Jaguar. And they are going back to the classic English brand. That's what they're going back to, like it or not. Okay, and then here's another one. This is only two on here. Just because things need to change doesn't mean you just change it to something worse. Now, opinion, that's subjective. Worse, better, depends who you are. If you're the target customer, it's better. If you're not the target customer, you can perceive it as worse. You can rebrand or change something classic if it's actually good. Okay, so their opinion here is that this is not good and it is not adhering to the classic Jaguar. Okay, so let's take a look at some photos. On the top here are the new cars, and on the bottom is a classic Jaguar. Look for photos of where did they get this styling on the new vehicles? Where did it come from? Take a look at the bottom picture versus the top picture. You can see that roadster style with the longer front and the domey back top area. Are they not echoing back to the classic? Okay, let's look at this one right here. This one I pulled mostly because of the blue, but look at the lines on this classic Jaguar versus what we have up above. Look at this one, the blue versus the blue and that classic line. And the shape, the silhouette of this car is nearly identical. I mean, look at the length of the wheelbase and look at the swoop of the back of the car versus the straightness of the front. So you have the front, it's almost the same silhouette. We need a top on the one on the bottom, but you can look at this and say, okay, I see where they got it. I see where it came from. That angle, look at that angle on the back trunk. It's almost exactly what the angle is on the roof, that little curved area. Man, so I see it. I can see them going back to the classic. So those of you that say they're not, I think that they are, and I think that these couple pictures show that. Here's another shot of one that I was just trying to find one that was similar in color to the pink. Found this kind of maroon one. But again, you can see some of that echoing back to the classic. Look at the wheels, too, on this one, the top versus the bottom. You have the modernized version of what is on the bottom vehicle here, but the bottom one is from like the 50s, and the top one is the new release. Okay, I don't want to beat that horse dead on them adhering to the classic.
I can't believe what I'm watching here, and especially from people who should know better, right? But okay, the Jaguar Type 00, this whole campaign is literally the greatest marketing ploy in human history. How you guys are missing this, I don't know. I don't get it. Now, I'm going to say right up front, right, that what I speculate may happen, the conclusion of all of this is just that. It's a speculation. I'm only guessing where this ends up. But what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to show here, is I'm absolutely certain of it. And when you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, how did I miss that? All right. So unless you're living under a rock, everybody in the automotive world, and not just the automotive world, but like just the world in general, has seen and heard about and expressed outrage at the new Jaguar, the 00, and the marketing that went behind it. The freaky commercial from a couple of weeks ago, and then this last on the 2nd, they had the debut of the car at the Miami Art Show. Miami art show, not a car show, it was an art show. So when I first saw the commercial, with all the characters and the weirdness, live exuberant, copy nothing, I was like, okay, this is just way over the top. There is nobody on earth who can really buy this, but people did, hook, line, and sinker. But I knew there was something else coming, didn't know what it was. So I sat back and I watched. And like I said, video after video after video after video from all over the world. People like, what is this? Are they even trying to sell a car? Because at the end, all of these crazy characters, like they're sitting down and they all stand up and they go in different directions and they're sitting on a rock. Or where's the car? Okay. I let it go. I watched all of these different videos and, the commentary on it. I got a kick out of it. I was like, no, there's a catch. There's something coming.